part here for the European and CIS regions. And, well, both of these teams, they want to punch their ticket to the first major of 2018. Kinguin, again, probably coming in as a favorite, but Evil Corporation, they've shown that they know how to play Dota. They've perhaps upset Hellraisers. You can make the argument, yeah, okay, some of the players weren't there because they were traveling from Barcelona. They did have that stand-in factor, weren't at full capacity, etc., but again, if you watched EC play, if you watch their drafts, you cannot take anything away from them. Looks like they actually want to run a bit of an aggressive lane too here. Timbersaw in safe lane up against Tidehunter. So we're dodging that out with the Tiny. Kinda like it. Tidehunter is super annoying for these kind of people to deal with. Even with the good attack damage that you have as a Tiny, Anchor Smash is gonna be an issue because it is percentage-based reduction. So you're still gonna have a hard time dealing with that. They're hitting for like 80, so you're missing like 35 or something. 45% reduction even at level 1 for the Anchor Smash. It's very hard to last hit with that, to say the least. So they're dodging it out. It's just for the first couple of minutes here, trying to surprise Kinguin. Shadow Demon might very well decide to just set up in the sides and come in for a disruption into Avalanche or toss back even. Can be very creative with these kind of things. But will be area roaming around. I like this too. He's just showing up top, isn't he? Yeah, showing up top, trying to sell this. Hey, it's gonna be a normal defensive lane. Don't you worry, guys. Only is keeping a little bit further behind. So, area. I might very well decide to also go back towards mid. Block for a Storm Spirit, but if he wanted to do that, he'd have to go right now. Instead, he's wrapping all the way around. Maybe already setting up for some sort of courier snipe or trying to slow down Exotic Deer as he comes back to mid, because that's where he is like stand up right now. Haley, oh, getting gone on here, slowed down, body blocked by Katza. Disruption comes through. It's not even going to matter. He will just call the first, spill the first blood. Well played from Kinguin, coming in there with a vengeance, and Kioli a little bit too aggressive to say the least. Not the start that they wanted. Still running plans down on the bottom lane and top lane. Patos, not exactly the kind of hero that you can go on, even with battery assault. Didn't even opt to use it. Didn't put a point into anything just yet, but even without that, 3 armor, 6 health points, not the worst. Alright, so for now, area actually sticking around up top rather than mid. And that's one thing with Tidehunter, you can exploit him in the early levels. Kraken Shell, sure that'll help you against right clicks, but not necessarily up against the battery assault. So area spending some time to make that work. Means it's a 1v1 in mid, should be alright for the Storm Spirit, but you're up against 2 different units. So Secure and Bastards might still, should still be easy for Exotic. He has a lot of experience in that hero. Meanwhile down bottom, Keoli gonna get gone on again, Avalanche to try and slow them down and prevent the Link from from going on further. But Keoli already down to 1/3 of his health points. He has a few tangos to chew through. It's not the kind of stuff that I wanted. Sash and Katsu both flying support heroes, zoning out very effectively here between the Icarus Dive, also a decent amount of DPS. Not a level 1, but later down the line for sure. And the dual breath, more importantly. It's not a whole lot that these 2 heroes alone can do about it. Cleanse. Kind of falling here, yeah, alright. I think they have to adjust these lanes immediately. Thing is only, well, closest level 3, so maybe you have a bit of an easier time. Level 1 reactive armor can't really help you too much against this kind of punishment either. Especially as soon as some extra levels come out here on Jakiro. As well as Katsu. But certainly much better defensive utility than Plants has. He has a lot of health points, but no armor to work with. And no easy region. That being said, though, he's sitting at 4.4 pace with the extra mango, so maybe it's not even the case. Certainly less than Timbersaw, though, so yeah, they're gonna make that adjustment immediately. That laning attempt that they made already failed. So you're looking towards mid and see how that goes. Very even indeed. Exotic Deer and Ryujin being a 10 and 5. Ryujin perhaps with a bit of an advantage here if he manages to find all of these CS. But Undertow with the bear also being annoying and get to deny the region. Unable to secure any one of those. Yeah, only once he hits level 3 it gets a little bit easier. Because then you have a lot more region to work with right now. It's very dangerous one to stick around here. Slowed down further. Does not hurt the timber chain actually. Should make it up to the high ground either tango. Really good start for Kinguin so far, because Pathos up in the top lane despite Aria's best efforts. Unable to really be zoned out at too much. So he is level 3. Katsuo joining him now. It's still tiny, right? He can be extremely obnoxious once he gets his levels. And curious to see what kind of item build he wants to go for. I mean, sometimes, especially in that SEA region, they go for this heavily mobility-based base strat. Maybe Sanshin Yasha. And then into like Shadow Blade, Blink Dagger. But I have seen safe lane tinies go for this very stat-heavy build. Sanshin Yasha still is super cost-effective. But then going into things like Butterfly, AC, and no mobility whatsoever. In this game, I'd like to see mobility just to stack up on that. Again, there's not too much that Kinguin can really do about it, even in the middle of a team fight. Well, it's not a requirement because you do have the clockwork with. Now gonna go in onto Pathos. Katsuo's there, Flensmeister also coming in. Adding a couple of swipes here with the Avalanche too. Also interrupting that the Icarus start. They're gonna get 2 here. Katsuo trying to run away. Last right click. Silk Catcher on top. Flens can't toss the creep. Happily helping out. And it's very interesting indeed. I think it got dragged down there by somebody. Didn't quite see what it was. Kinguin or should have been maybe E-Corp. And yeah, Pathos. He tried to contest the pull. Didn't really work out in the end. Well played, well-timed Avalanche shoot from Flens. Not only helping lock down Pathos, but also interrupting the Icarus dive just as it came out. So Katsuo couldn't even decide to try and get out of there if he wanted. Maybe a bit over-aggressive in his part too, thinking they could fight that, but hey. Not always easy. That's the kind of damage that Tide can put out, even at level 1. Druid up level 2 now, so that seems to be more and more the consensus these days. You still see other builds. Makes out Toss, makes out Avalanche on some people. Now they're gonna go again, Pathos. 1 second right click, not as easy here with the Spirits on again. The Avalanche interrupting that, Flensmeister dropping lower and lower to all this damage over time. Elsash making this rotation. Turn things around this time. Against the bane of his existence. Near the 5 Spirits. The attack speed slow, not a deal. Even have more from the Liquid Fire too here. So Shakiro showed up. And it doesn't matter how much damage you do with your right clicks if you can't actually right click more than once in a team fight. Only actually taking over mid now. Ryujin in the jungle, stacking up a few camps as well for Tiny later. And Area, okay, he's gonna get caught out. He should take to this damage over time. Take charges or no. Okay, never mind. Area gets away with his life. Katsuo kills himself on the ancient stack as the storm comes through. Alright. Can't say I've seen that one before, but meanwhile mid on me. 2 points up direct farmer, Timber Chain as well to get him back. Meanwhile, down bottom, okay. The only region trying to stick around, Nisha. Alright, he's diving very deep actually. No health points. Area trying to get him in there with the cogs. Couple of creeps there to tank up the battery assault on Nisha. Will just find one more right click in the tower. Also agreeing onto him. Will secure it for Ryujin and Area and Kaoli. All of them share in those spoils. So Kinguin's starting to be punished for these kind of aggressive movements. Katsuo trying to snipe a Ryujin. Same for Elisage, but he should be absolutely fine again. Area still pretty damn healthy. That's how the stick to work with. They're gonna commit on him here. Plenty of damage over time and no help coming his way. Let's still take out of that. Oh man. Again, that's the power of the Jakiro. 2 points, dual breath, 1 point electrify, even the extra point in the ice path. Just helping out a little bit. Good value point here. I'd like to see more heroes go for that. Not always the case. It's mostly useful for canceling CPs, but oh god, top lane. Alright. Take an opportunity to make these early movements. Kind of being forced into it. He's hasn't done too badly mid, I don't think. But got more and more scary here with the root potential from the bear as well as Lone Druid to get himself getting more and more damage potential. Just based on a little bit of lockdown. But it's two units hitting you for a decent amount, so starts to add up. The missile still down here. It does mean though that you have a bit of an issue. They keep trying to send different people in the offlane, but it's been a slaughtering ground for the most part. Well, with tier 1 down already though, that should mean that Kinguin will not be able to spend too much time down there. The lane tends to be a little bit further across the side, a little bit further into the dire side, so it gets a little bit more tricky for Kinguin to stick around there. So that does mean that area will be able to get those levels. Once it's level 6, maybe you can find a few other things. Meanwhile though, middle lane. Only 4 heroes around him. Ravage committed here. They're not messing around against the Timbersaw. The fear, the root, everything is still actually alive. Does a decent amount of damage here into Katso. And if he'd gotten the Timber Chain off, he would have killed him too, but again, Kinguin not taking any chances here. The TP into the mid was cancelled too, so bit unfortunate there. I just want to try and bring down these towers, leveraging the bear, also then the liquefier, level 1's trying to cool them, but now Regent coming through. Couple of zips here and there, does not have the electric vortex just yet. There's the Benjamin, set him up for more. Pathos, yeah, with no Ravage, no way to protect himself here. He'll just go down in return. The tower has fallen. At the very least, EC don't get out empty-handed. Especially getting some more gold towards the souls, but it's going to be crucial. I mean, he's the highest farmed hero on his team, but only 4k towards the 4.5k of the Lone Druid, who can now easily start farm up the jungle. He already has the Midas going as well, so next up will be Radiance, sooner rather than later. And you have the Razors, another couple hundred gold ahead of him. Aquila, drums, very effective stat build here so far. He's the Orchid queued up, not the most common item on Razors. We see area being caught out off guard. Yeah, actually turned things around with the cat, so well, if Sash wasn't there, he might have actually gotten it, but as it stands.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That effort's in vain. But yeah, Orchid, not the most common item on the Razor by any means, but up against a Stormsbird as well as a Timbersaw. Just itemizing to try and make up for what they're lacking in their team. Which is lockdown, single target control against these kind of mobile heroes.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Top lane, gonna go again. Dual buff level 3, still level 1 liquid fire, but they do have the catapult. Not the fastest tower push in the world, but will go down eventually here, especially if this is not responded to EC. They realize that they can't fight right now. The way the early game went, if it went a little bit better, maybe they have more threat potential. Right now though, they really can't go in without some sort of an advantage. Only actually, yeah, it's only level 7, that's the problem. Not even quite max out reactive armor, but very limited damage outputs from his other spells. At the very least, he has a mana sustain between the Soul Ring and the Arcane Boots, but again, not the best. Clockwork, not Clockwork level 6 just yet, neither is Kaoli. Stormspirit wants a lot more, he wants a lot more to work with than what he has right now to feel comfortable. And even Tiny, right? You can see him maybe getting involved, but next level 3 grab, that is more a farming build more than anything else. If you'll help 2 points, put both of them into the toss, alright. It's very reliable damage nuke. I think the combo with the avalanche scares off the avalanche damage on points, not into the toss. It can be hit a second time by avalanche. So 1 point up on the avalanche means even if you land the combo, it's 240 damage rather than 600. If you max the avalanche out instead, it's one of the arguments that you see sometimes. for maxing that out. But again, over farming builds, Tor is very much easier harassment to land in lane 2 if he was still in there. And also just much easier damage in a team fight. Alright. When slowing things down a little bit, I mean, can make the argument that they're going to be fine with that because Exotic DS is going to hit like, an extremely good relic timing. On the back of that, extremely good Radiance timing, but they still have that advantage. From these supports coming through, Kaso with his level 6, Macropie available as well. They've already taken all the tier 1 towers, maybe respecting Evil Corporation's ability to start taking small little skirmishes here. They have a bit of pick-off potential too here with Area hitting his level 6. Storm's went up to level 12, so that's working out. Region also has the Kaya, so... he can actually go in Timbersaw as well to some extent now with a maxed out Timber Chain. There is some damage if they manage to backstab and find that initiation. Even up against heroes like Tidehunter. He does have the mechanism though. So wouldn't be too surprised to see him just wait for the Radiance. Perhaps the Orchid is the other thing. He's checking closer. So Kinguin, they're waiting for this round of items before they want to be more aggressive. But that also means that Evil Corporation have a little bit of extra time to try and catch up with some of these stacks. Right now, both of the cores of Kinguin though well ahead. 600 gold, 1700, 1800, almost here on Exotic Deer ahead of the Storm's. Also, it's a regional battle though, so might offset some of that. Gonna work at 2 tier 1s at the same time. While on the top lane, the entire 5-man lineup from Kinguin is working away at this tier 2, just starting now. 1 TP back into the middle lane. And they see Patos now. Another TP in from Katsuo. Yeah, this is the combo, right? They go and Patos is just gonna ravage, Katsuo is gonna supernova. But E-Corp not even making that attempt. Said they rotated around, but they kinda lost that trade, didn't they? This tier 2 in deny range, so it's essentially dead. But now it still has nothing to use, and actually gets Soul Kill onto onto one Patos with the Ravage, only 1 point up still into the Ice Path though. That's a bit of a waste to say the least, and well, E-Corp will be very happy about that. They deny the tower. Again, map control lost. They only get the tier 1 bottom. As I say that though, only working away at the next one. He does have the creep wave, got rid of the other one. Next one will be a catapult, but by that time Kinguin will probably chase him out of that lane. But without the Ravage? I wonder if E-Corp can just feel comfortable going in the region, even kept the region going, so he's back up to full. Wouldn't cancel now, but yeah. Got a bit of a break there. All this push down bottom also means that on me is just surging forward in levels. Up to 11 now, almost 12. So level 2 Chakram will be coming out momentarily. Area continues to farm up top here. I've set you in to work with Hookshot as well on 9. Haven't seen one yet. Yeah. Even if E-Corp wanted to go for some sort of a play, it would have been very risky indeed, even without a Ravage. He's just very strong and hard to bring down at this point. With the Orchid completed too. I'm not sure if they scattered that out yet. I think he just got it with the courier. But I think they might have seen an Oblivion Staff before. Again, both teams just fighting the time. Tiny starting to get his items. Starting Asha helps him get a little bit more tanky, better farming. Actually going in. He'll see the Orchid now. Bit of Nisha region coming to take over. Nisha will actually die to that, and only not so much. He's still alive. Katsuo. His damage of time is not going to be enough. He might even be forced into the Supernova, which yeah, he's holding on to. Right decision. You need that for the following team fight. You're going to die anyway. The rest of the team even being thrown up a Flint Smites. The hookshot to follow. Trying to, yeah, toss him in. Alisage will end up falling here too eventually. No hero available to roam in to help him. Tidehunter still with the Ravage on cooldown, so all he could have done was look scary. And Lone Druid, not quite ready to fight just yet. Where's his bear at anyway?
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
There it is.
Radiant structures.
He does have the Radiance. Needs the rest of the team to screen for him here. Needs that Ravage. Patos, Katzor, come back in now to Chain across. Evil Corporation. Forced away, but good series of events for them. If you look at the gold graph, that was about 4k in favor of Team Kinguin. But now, down to just 1.5k or something. Especially Storm Spirits being involved in these kills. Him getting one, only the other. That is the ideal situation. Only he's the one going for the Bloodstone. Halfway there, while Storm both going for one. Even closer than Only is at this point. He's being slowed down. Ravage being used. Chain interrupted with it. Now, Only, well, still fighting. Spear, Ice Path, not actually landing, but the root is there in time. Again, big commitment to him. Full 5-minute rotation. They need something more out of this. They didn't get the kill. It would have been in a bad spot here with Ravage and cooldown as it stands. They should be able to bring down this T2 uncontested. Rest of the decops spread out all across the map to try and make trades happen. Virgin might even be able to work away at this tier 1. Tanks it up for a little bit, no problem, but... Alright, Kinguin. Just want to go high ground. Points starting to stack up, but mostly on the bear. Kind of tank that era. Sitting inside, waiting for the hook shot. Ah, misses it only just. It's one of these situations where you figure, oh yeah, just hook anywhere, I'm bound to hit something, but not really. Just short. That's what's is there. Tower already down to almost 0 health points here. The bear did quite a bit of work in, even committing his life for it. He might have been falling, but now Stompit in front. Silence, feared up, he will fall. No buyback either. Not just gets the tower, but also mailbacks on the back of that. Kinguin hitting that timing in strides, Only back from the dead. It's gonna be super careful. Doesn't have reactive armor charged up. It's very squishy indeed right now. Nisha caught in the front line, see inside the cogs, but no damage to follow up. Only will straight up fall. Going into that without that reactive armor, buying back immediately. Kinguin. Only Patos is the one dropping a little bit low. More ultimates available, but the bear's extremely scary at this point in the game, and Evil Corporation, they found that out the hard way. Not just hard to bring down, but also hitting very hard against these buildings. Sub 20-minute racks, and all of a sudden that gold lead that I was talking about surged upwards of 7k.
Now my enemies pay.
This is just the mark of a very experienced team, just realizing, alright, we lost the team fight because we didn't have Ravage, because we're kind of isolated from each other. Easy, got a couple of heroes one by one. But if we work as 5, we actually are still super strong. And we can take Rex right now, especially if Decorp are not quite ready to fight. And even if they are, we have Rocket, we have Brutes, we have Ice Path now. Still level 1, but hey, enough of a setup here for us. But anyway, as we went in on the bear.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Middle tower has fallen area. Just clicking it down. No backdoor region for that one. So, and it's also trying to skip creep waves. Only got the one. This tier 2 will most likely fall with Evil Corporation trying to mitigate the damage elsewhere. Flintmeister's up top. Skipping creep waves there. Region continuing to push down bottom. He does have his Bloodstone complete now after that fight. Probably for the best. Timbersaw opting to go for something else. He has the Lotus Orb queued up now. And Kinguin, well, that's one way to deal with this kind of a playstyle, right? They just go full 5-man YOLO. Just push the side lanes, skip creep waves, and can't actually go high ground again. So far, so good. Evil Corporation buying themselves more time, but they need to be able to leverage the Storm Spirit as well as the Timbersaw, and for that to happen, they need defensive utility, which is also one of the reasons why Timbersaw opted to go for this Lotus Orb. Because being able to spell the silence could make a difference. Like, if they go on somebody like the Root with the silence, oh god, area will be run down. At the same time in mid though. Try and burst down Phoenix, but it gets the egg off. Inside the Magpie as well. It's time to right click it down. They will find it. Nisha and Exotic D had about enough time to come in and snag another support kill though. On me. Take me out there. Can you cancel it? Yeah! Oh, ice buff. I love Jakiro, but that spell needs a buff. Like, not even necessarily an information delay. I mean, it's kind of the Jakiro's thing, right? But just the fact that you can BKB out of it if you Yule somebody into it. Yule into ice buff, that needs to change in my opinion, but not that we see that right now. Kinguin, they don't have the Phoenix Sun, but still have the Ravage to work with, only up in front. Again, without reactive armor stack, he's starting to find it now in a couple of these creeps. Makes it a little bit easier for him. Lensmeister also, he can hit hard if he wants to regen, but part of the fight just yet. Once again, skip the creep wave. They will get the tier 3 tower. Doesn't really matter too much here. Oh god, the hook shot again! Just barely off the mark. Area. Not on point today at all with those. This is a fake back even. TP back to bear just to heal up. We call that in any moment. They might see Keoli here if he comes in.
Boom, there it goes.
Not necessarily sure about the position from Kinguin, from Evil Corporation either. They might very well be smoked out and in a big old clump. But they're not spreading out, trying to farm up, desperately trying to catch and get a few extra items on the heroes, and especially these defenders items. Lotus Orb is one thing, but Stormsword with that BKB should have a much easier time dodging out pretty much all of Kinguin's spells, and that's where you can feel really comfortable going in and trying to do damage. Only thing that he then has to worry about is going one-to-one with the bear and being rooted or something.
Invisibility. Bottom tower is under attack.
Well, he might want to think about something like that himself, but goes for the Yules instead. More disruption. I mean, his job in this team fight is more just tanking up spells and diverting attention and dodging things with Lotus Orb and then Yules coming out. If he even finishes off, might very well change his mind. But E-Corp, despite being Rex down, they still have this chance. Because again, if you look at the draft from Kinguin, they don't really have inbuilt solutions for the Storm Spirit. Certainly not the one with the BKB. That Orchid will cease being effective as soon as that comes out. At the same time, AC in the works for Exotic Deer. They might very well hit a timing with that, doesn't really matter. But they're tanky enough to just run down another lane and bring down another set of racks. So it's gonna be hard for E-Corp to mount these kind of defenses, especially when they have Ravage as well as the Phoenix Supernova available. You can try and get some vision out. It's painfully limited right now. All they have is from the creep waves. This is one ward in the middle lane. So if they get some vision out, keep an eye on Kinguin. Maybe you catch them off guard when they're spread out to farm a little bit. Can go in on a clockwork.
Do it with flair.
Who would you actually go on? Like, technically, like, Titan is still pretty damn tanky. He has Pipe on top of the mechanism now. Oh, didn't quite actually get damage on the creep wave. That's annoying. He did log zip play, but he missed time it. Will that creep wave in mid here? Error actually down to half health. Sunray. Big old beam of. Oh yeah, they still have catapult anyway. Backing it up to make sure it stays alive. So Drax is down already, but that is Lensmeister with zone BKB coming in, slowing down on start, trying to bring him down. But there's the Phoenix Sun. There's the Ravage protected. Only will fall, so will Regen. He's spawning a little bit, but no buyback here. That was used early on Timbersaw. Waiting for the 10 seconds here for the Bloodstone to respawn in the Lensmeister. He needs some help. Throws down the Avalanche. He's all alone here, away from his base. He's rooted up, right click down. E-Corp missing 4 heroes. This might very well be GG. It's just the effect of having a lone druid on your team. If you win a team fight, you gotta take buildings, and you've already taken half the racks on the field. Well, making mega creeps happen is no tall task indeed. E-Corp, they have 2 heroes. It's all down to Regen, but it doesn't have nearly enough money to think about finishing up the BKBs, so, well, that's how the cookie crumbles. The cooperation. This particular strat not quite working out. It could have, if they managed to maybe get a bit of a better early game. Slow down Kinguin a lot more, but they just hit the timing. Very tanky, very strong push here between partners on the Titan to secure them with the mechanism and the threat of the Raven.